Breaking news, disaster has struck in Southeast Asia. A massive earthquake has rocked Myanmar, sending shockwaves felt across the region. The devastation is unfolding right now, and we are bringing you the latest updates as they come in. Stay with us as we break down the details of this powerful quake and its far-reaching impact. A powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit central Myanmar earlier today, recorded at 0620 GMT. Just 10 minutes later, an aftershock measuring 6.4 rattled the region. Both quakes were centered near Mandalay, a major city in the country. Reports are already pouring in, indicating that tremors were felt over 1,000 miles away in parts of Thailand and China. Early footage from Myanmar reveals significant structural damage, including cracked and buckled roads, collapsed buildings, and disrupted infrastructure. However, as of now, there have been no official reports of casualties. The situation is still developing, and authorities are assessing the full extent of the damage. Rescue teams are mobilizing, but challenges remain due to damaged communication lines and inaccessible areas. The epicenter of the quake was in the Burmese city of Sagaing, located approximately 100 kilometers north of Myanmar's capital, Naypyidaw. It struck at 12:50 p.m. local time, making it a shallow quake at just 10 kilometers deep, an alarming factor that often leads to widespread destruction. Experts warn that aftershocks could continue in the coming hours and days, further endangering the affected communities. The effects of the tremors have also been felt in Thailand's capital, Bangkok, where the shaking sent people rushing into the streets. Disturbing footage shows high-rise buildings swaying, and in one particularly shocking video, water from a rooftop swimming pool cascades over the edge like a waterfall. This is a stark visual representation of just how intense the tremors were. The government has issued safety advisories urging residents to remain cautious, especially in older buildings that may not be up to modern earthquake-resistant standards. But perhaps the most alarming report so far is from Bangkok, where a 30-story building under construction has collapsed. According to initial reports from the AFP and Reuters news agencies, at least 43 workers are trapped beneath the rubble. The full extent of the damage and potential loss of life remains unknown at this time. Emergency response teams are on site, working frantically to rescue those trapped. Heavy machinery is being brought in to clear debris, but the delicate nature of the operation means time is of the essence. In Myanmar itself, near Mandalay, a major bridge spanning the Irrawaddy River has collapsed. The infrastructure damage is significant, and officials are bracing for more reports as communications in affected areas slowly come online. Given the country's limited resources for disaster response, the relief effort could face serious challenges in the coming hours and days. Aid organizations are monitoring the situation, and international assistance may be required if the damage proves extensive. Thailand's government has called for an emergency meeting to assess the situation and coordinate a response. Residents of Bangkok are familiar with earthquake protocols, and many evacuated buildings as soon as the shaking began. However, the structural integrity of buildings still under construction is a major concern, as evidenced by today's collapse. Authorities have launched inspections of key infrastructure to assess potential weaknesses, and safety drills are being carried out in several high-risk zones. Journalists from AFP stationed in Naypyidaw, Myanmar's capital, describe seeing buckled roads and ceilings crumbling from the force of the tremors. These early reports suggest that while the worst damage may be near the epicenter, the impact is being felt widely across the region. Hospitals are on high alert, preparing for an influx of injured victims, while emergency shelters are being set up for those displaced by the disaster. We are awaiting more footage from Myanmar, where information is slower to emerge. Unlike Bangkok, where social media is providing immediate updates, Myanmar's media landscape makes it more difficult to get a clear picture of the devastation in real time. Internet and phone services have been disrupted in several regions, further complicating rescue efforts. Officials are urging residents to report any missing persons and to follow safety instructions as the situation develops. International aid organizations, including the Red Cross and the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, are preparing for potential relief operations. Neighboring countries such as Thailand, China, and India are closely monitoring the situation and may offer assistance if the scale of the disaster calls for it. Given Myanmar's history of earthquakes, Experts stress the importance of rapid response and infrastructure rebuilding efforts to minimize long-term effects. Seismologists warn that the combination of a high-magnitude, shallow earthquake and densely populated urban centers could mean that the final toll, both in terms of casualties and economic losses, could be severe. The coming hours and days will be critical in determining just how much devastation this earthquake has left in its wake. Right now, the world is watching, waiting, and hoping for the best. As the rescue efforts continue, we will keep you updated with every major development. The scale of this disaster is still unfolding, and the next few hours will be critical. Governments and relief agencies are assessing the need for international aid, and we may soon see a global response to this tragedy. Stay tuned for more breaking news as we continue to monitor this devastating earthquake in Myanmar and its ripple effects across Southeast Asia. If you found this update informative, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any critical developments. Let us know in the comments if you've been affected by the quake, or if you have any questions about the unfolding situation. We'll be bringing you real-time updates as soon as they come in.